Have you ever wondered what animals are saying to each other? Imagine you're walking through a forest. The sun is beginning to set. Birds are singing overhead. Everything seems peaceful. Then suddenly a bird releases a sharp alarm call. Within seconds, squirrels disappear into trees. Deer lift their heads and freeze. Other birds take flight. The entire forest reacts. But here's the strange part. Nobody gave a speech. Nobody explained what was happening. Yet somehow, the message spread instantly. How? And what if I told you that somewhere in this forest, animals are exchanging information every second, using methods so advanced that some scientists compare them to the building blocks of language? The truth is that Earth has always been filled with conversations. Long before humans invented words, writing, or language, animals were already communicating. For hundreds of millions of years, evolution has been refining ways to send messages, and the systems animals developed are often far more sophisticated than most people realize. Today, we're going to explore the hidden world of animal communication, a world where bees give directions, dolphins call each other by name, elephants send messages through the ground, and tiny insects create glowing signals in the darkness. Once you understand how animals communicate, you'll never look at nature the same way again. Because everywhere you go, conversations are happening. You just can't hear most of them. Every animal faces the same basic challenges. They need to avoid predators, find food, protect their territory, recognize family members, choose mates, and coordinate with others. To do all of that, they need information, and information is useless unless it can be shared. That's why communication became one of the most powerful survival tools evolution ever created. Let's start with the form of communication we're most familiar with: sound. Many animals use sound to transmit information across long distances. Take wolves. When people hear a wolf howl, they often imagine a lonely animal calling into the night. But a howl is much more than that. A wolf's howl can help pack members locate one another across vast territories. It can warn rival packs to stay away. It can strengthen social bonds between family members. One simple sound can carry multiple meanings depending on the situation. Birds take sound communication even further. To human ears, bird song may simply sound beautiful, but to another bird, it contains valuable information. A song can reveal the singer's species, its health, its strength, its age, and whether it already controls a territory. In some species, females prefer males with more complex songs. The song itself becomes evidence of intelligence and fitness. In other words, birds are not just singing, they're advertising, negotiating, competing, and identifying themselves. But perhaps one of the most astonishing examples of sound communication comes from dolphins. Scientists discovered that dolphins develop unique signature whistles. These whistles function almost like personal names. Each dolphin creates a distinctive sound pattern early in life. Other dolphins learn it, and when they want to contact a specific individual, they can imitate that whistle. Imagine hearing your own name spoken from hundreds of meters away underwater. Even more remarkable, studies suggest dolphins can remember these signature whistles for decades. Some appear capable of recognizing former companions after more than 20 years apart. Think about that for a moment. A dolphin may hear a whistle and instantly recognize an old friend it hasn't encountered for decades. That's an extraordinary memory. Yet sound is only one way animals communicate. Some messages are completely silent. Take dogs, for example. Most dog owners can tell what a dog is feeling without hearing a single bark. A relaxed tail sends one message. A stiff tail sends another. Flattened ears, raised fur, direct eye contact, body posture. Every movement provides information. Dogs constantly read these signals from one another. In fact, body language is often more important than vocal sounds. Many conflicts between animals are prevented because intentions are communicated visually before a fight ever begins. Nature is full of silent conversations, and some animals have turned movement into something truly extraordinary. Consider the honeybee. Imagine you're a bee searching for flowers. After flying across the landscape, you discover an enormous patch filled with nectar. You return to the hive. Thousands of other bees are waiting. How do you tell them where to go? Amazingly, the answer is dance. When a worker bee finds a valuable food source, it performs what scientists call the waggle dance. This isn't random movement, it's information. The angle of the dance tells other bees the direction of the flowers relative to the position of the sun. The duration of the dance indicates distance. The intensity of the dance communicates how rewarding the food source is. A bee can effectively provide detailed directions without using words. Imagine someone giving you GPS coordinates entirely through movement. That's essentially what bees accomplish. And it works. Thousands of insects can locate food based solely on information contained in a dance. For years, scientists struggled to believe something so small could communicate something so complex, yet the evidence became undeniable. But perhaps the strangest form of communication is one humans rarely notice at all: chemical communication. To many animals, the world is filled with invisible messages. Ants are masters of this system. When an ant discovers food, it lays down a chemical trail as it returns to the colony. Other ants detect the trail using their antennae. They follow it, and as more ants travel the same path, they strengthen the trail. Soon, thousands of ants may be moving efficiently toward the food source. No leader gives instructions, no ant understands the entire plan, and yet the colony organizes itself through countless chemical messages. It's almost like a living internet built from scent. Some scientists even compare ant colonies to giant biological computers. Each individual ant follows simple rules, but together, millions of interactions create surprisingly intelligent behavior. Dogs also rely heavily on chemical communication. Humans primarily experience the world through sight. Dogs experience much of it through smell. A single scent can reveal who passed by, whether they were male or female, how long ago they were there, their emotional state, and much more. To a dog, every smell tells a story. What appears to us as an ordinary tree or fire hydrant may contain an entire library of information. But communication in nature becomes even more impressive, because some animals communicate using methods that seem almost impossible. Consider elephants. Elephants produce extremely low-frequency sounds known as infrasound. These sounds are often too deep for human ears to detect, yet they can travel for kilometers. An elephant may communicate with distant family members far beyond visual range. Researchers discovered something even more surprising. Some of these vibrations travel through the ground itself. Elephants can detect them using specialized receptors in their feet and trunks. Imagine receiving a message through the earth beneath you. A distant elephant stomps or vocalizes. The ground vibrates. Another elephant feels the signal and understands information about its location or intentions. It's a communication system that seems almost like science fiction, yet it exists right now. And then there are the masters of communication through light. Fireflies. On warm summer nights, tiny flashes appear in the darkness. To us, they look magical, but those flashes are actually messages. Each firefly species uses unique flash patterns. The timing and rhythm help individuals identify suitable mates. A firefly searching for a partner must recognize the correct signal among countless lights. One flash may mean "I'm here," another may mean "I'm interested," another may belong to an entirely different species. The night sky becomes a glowing conversation. But animal communication doesn't stop there. Some animals communicate using vibrations. Spiders can detect tiny movements traveling through their webs. A single vibration can reveal whether the visitor is prey, a potential mate, or something dangerous. Tree hoppers, small plant-feeding insects, send signals through stems and leaves. To us, the plant appears silent. To them, it's carrying messages. Even fish communicate. Some fish change color to send information. Others create sounds underwater. Certain species release chemical signals when injured, warning nearby fish of danger. Communication exists almost everywhere scientists look, and the deeper researchers investigate, the more complicated the picture becomes. For a long time, many scientists believed animal communication was relatively simple. A signal would trigger a response, nothing more. Today, that view is changing rapidly. Researchers have discovered that some monkeys use different alarm calls for different predators. One call may mean an eagle is approaching from above. Another may indicate a snake nearby. A third may warn of a large predator on the ground. The response changes depending on the specific warning. In other words, the calls contain information about the type of threat. Some birds can learn songs from their communities, much like humans learn language from the people around them. Different populations may even develop local song variations that resemble regional accents, and some animals appear capable of combining signals in ways that hint at the earliest building blocks of language itself. Scientists are still debating exactly how advanced these systems are, but one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Animal communication is far more sophisticated than we once imagined. Animals are not simply reacting to the world around them. They are exchanging information, sharing warnings, locating food, finding mates, protecting their families, maintaining friendships, and coordinating entire societies. Every forest, every ocean, every grassland, every backyard is filled with messages. Right now, as you watch this video, millions of conversations are happening all around the planet. Birds are warning each other, whales are singing across oceans, ants are laying invisible highways, elephants are sending vibrations through the ground, and fireflies are flashing signals into the darkness. The earth has never been silent. It only seems silent because humans understand so few of the languages being spoken. And perhaps the most fascinating part is this: we've only just begun to decode them. The more we learn, the more we realize that nature is not a collection of isolated creatures. It's a vast network of communication connecting life in ways we're only starting to understand. The next time you hear birds calling outside your window, or see ants marching across the ground, or watch a dog sniffing a tree, remember, you're witnessing a conversation, and somewhere in that exchange is a message that has been shaped by millions of years of evolution. A message we are only beginning to translate.